for a high protein breakfast, then this recipe is for you, so stick around. Hi, Debbie Chu here from Chew on Vegan. Welcome back to my kitchen. If you're new here, I'm a plant-based RN and I follow a whole food plant-based way of eating with a focus on protein. As most of you know, or some of you know, I am at an age where I am way past menopause and I do need to add more protein to my meals. I am trying to build muscle and I'm trying to lose fat. And for me, the best way to do that is to increase my protein at every meal. This recipe I'm showing you today is 30 plus grams of protein for the whole serving. It's just going to be one serving. You're not going to believe how big it is. It's something very simple. It's my tofu scramble. I know that doesn't sound super exciting, but it's one of my favorite breakfasts. I love it. It's high protein. It keeps me full for hours, and it is just so darn delicious. So I'm going to show you all the ingredients first, then I'm going to take you over to the stove, and I'm going to show you how I put it all together. It's really simple. The most work you have to do is just chopping up some veggies, and it's going to have a ton of veggies in it as well. But before we start, I want to just mention that the full recipe will be in the description box, and I would love for you to check out the description box. It's got all my discount codes in there. It's got a link to my cookbook, so if you're looking for some recipes, that is a great place to start. There's over 60 recipes in my cookbook, and it's got a lot of information about health, about sleep, about protein, about menopause. So it's got a lot of good info in there. All right, so let's get started. All right, so let's show you these ingredients for our tofu scramble, high protein tofu scramble. So of course we have tofu. And here's a little hack for y'all that I just figured out like today. Crumble it up first before you put it in the pan. Genius. I don't know why I didn't think of it sooner. That way you can get all the big little clumps out and it just works way better. So we got that. We're gonna add our greens, spinach of course. I've got some zucchini, some peppers, and these are just frozen. I've got some cherry tomatoes, riced cauliflower. If you wanna bulk up your recipes, add riced cauliflower. You can add it to oatmeal, you can add it to stews, soups, whatever, and it's really nutritionally excellent. And then I have some onion, and then I have some hash browns. These are just frozen. And I will have exact measurements in the description box. As always, I'm going to be using garlic salt. If you're salt-free, just use garlic powder. I've got onion powder. I've got some smoked paprika. And then for the tofu, I'm going to add, along with these three, I'm going to add some turmeric. And if you want it to be more eggy-like, then add black salt. I'm not a super fan of that, so I don't do that. Or you could just add regular black pepper is fine. I'm also going to be adding some soy milk in there to kind of get it going. And that just helps everything come together. And then I'm going to add a half of my high protein bagel with a little bit of my yogurt on there. So it's going to be jam-packed full of protein. All right, I'm going to take you over the stove so you can get a closer look. All right, you want to have a good non-stick pan. And if you don't, then put a little oil in there and that'll be fine. So I start off with the hash browns, and I'm on medium heat. So I just add everything in, actually. Get it going. And the riced cauliflower is also frozen. I didn't mention that. And this is going to serve one. So I let it cook for a little bit to kind of defrost some of these frozen things, and then we're going to start seasoning it up. Now I'm going to season the vegetables first. I will also season the tofu when I get to that. But here we've got 1/4 teaspoon of garlic salt, onion powder, and smoked paprika. Now I'm going to cover this and just let this cook for a little bit. I want a little bit of color, on these veggies. So let's do that. All right, at this point, I'm gonna add the tomatoes in. Give it a little stir here. And you can see we're getting some color on here, which is great. All right, next up, I'm just going to let this cook for about 1.5 minutes. The last step is to add our spinach in. The last step for the veggies. Stir these around. Just want it to get wilted. Now I'm going to take the veggies out, set them aside, and then I'm going to do the tofu. Lately I really like doing them separately, and if you wanted to do them together, you absolutely could, but I just find for me it works better to do them separately. All right, I'm gonna get these out of here and then we're gonna work on the tofu. All right, using the same pan, I didn't even rinse it out. I'm just gonna put a little water in here. It's gonna sizzle. Because I wanna get all this up because this is all flavor. Then I'm gonna add the tofu. Now look how amazing that is when I've crumbled it up first. All right, let's add some seasonings on here. So I'm gonna do the exact same seasoning, except I'm gonna add some turmeric. So 1/4 teaspoon of each. And then I'm gonna add some soy milk. Not only does this add protein, but it adds some flavor, and then it doesn't make it so dry. And if you find any clumps, you can break them down. But I'm just gonna let this cook for a few minutes. We'll add the veggies back in, and then we're pretty much done. All right, I'm gonna turn this down to like medium-low and put the lid on because you don't want it to get scorched. So we'll just leave that like this for a couple of minutes. All right, let's add the veggies back in and get those incorporated with the tofu. Oh, I'm so hungry and this just looks so good. All right, so we're just gonna let this sit in here for like a minute, get everything combined and all the flavors come together, and then we're gonna plate this baby up. So there is my half a bagel with some yogurt on there, and look at that big plate of food. This is amazing, and this will keep me full for hours. It's so satisfying. All right, let's give it a nice little taste here. So good. I'm so hungry. Perfection. If you wanted to add a little ketchup or a little salsa on here, that would be a great addition as well. All right, let's talk about the macros. Okay, so for that whole plate of food, it's 408 calories, okay, which is perfect. It has 38 grams of protein, which is also perfect for me. 9 grams of fat, and that mostly comes from the tofu, and 48 grams of carbs. If you're trying to get 30 plus grams of protein per meal, this is a great one to add into your rotation. It's super easy, it's inexpensive, you get tons of veggies, you get your starch, you get your protein, it's very well balanced. And like I said, it will keep you full for hours. And having that bagel on there as well, perfection. I'll leave a link to the bagel recipe down below, also my yogurt recipe. That yogurt is so amazing, and if you haven't made it yet, what are you doing? You've got to do it. It's so good. The full recipe will be in the description box along with the macros that I just mentioned, and be sure to check out the description box for all the discount codes that I offer. I have quite a few down there. I've also got links to my favorite products, so check that out. If you like this video, if you learned something, please give it a like and share it with your friends. And if you've made it this far in the video, please comment below with scramble, and that way I know you made it to the end with me, and I really appreciate it. Remember that all my recipes are good for you, they're good for the animals, and they're good for the planet, and what you put on your plate determines your fate. Until next time, thank you.